Okay, we're going to talk about management of corporations. The owners of the corporations are called shareholders, and their control is limited really to voting rights, which include voting on the board of directors, voting to change or amend the bylaws, which are the rules and regulations of the corporation, and voting on the sale of the corporation or dissolution of the corporation. Shareholders exercise ownership control through the power of their vote. Usually, each common shareholder is entitled to one vote per share. The time of meetings is prescribed by the Articles of Incorporation or the bylaws for the meetings of the shareholders. Some states require that notice of the regular meetings be given the shareholders. Notice must be given of any special meetings, which are usually called by the board of directors. And you need a quorum at the beginning of the meeting of shareholders to conduct business. The role of directors. The board of directors has the authority to manage the corporation. Courts will not interfere with the board's discretion in the absence of illegal conduct or fraud harming the rights of creditors, shareholders, or the corporation. Election of directors. The number of directors is usually set forth in the Articles of Incorporation or bylaws. The first board of directors is normally appointed by the incorporators on the creation of the corporation, or directors are named by the corporation itself in the Articles of Incorporation. The board of directors meeting. The board of directors conduct business by holding formal meetings with recorded minutes. A quorum is the minimum number of members of a body of officials or other group that must be present for business to be validly transacted. Rights of the director. A director of a corporation has a number of rights, including the rights of participation, entitled to participate in all board of directors meetings, inspection of the company records and documents, and compensation, and also indemnification for any loss that they actually suffer as a result of their position or their role as board of directors. Directors' management responsibilities. Directors have responsibilities for all policy-making decisions necessary to manage the management of all corporate affairs. And just as shareholders cannot act individually to bind the corporation, the directors must act as a body carrying out routine corporate business. The role of officers and executives. Officers and other executive employees are hired by the board of directors or in rare instances by the shareholders. Corporate officers and other high-level managers are employees of the company, so their rights are defined by employment contracts. Fiduciary duties of officers and directors. Directors and officers are deemed fiduciaries of the corporation because their relationship with the corporation and its shareholders is one of trust and confidence. Generally, a director or officer is expected to act in good faith, to exercise the care that an ordinary prudent person would exercise under similar circumstances, and to act in what he or she considers to be the best interest of the corporation. They have a duty to make informed and reasonable decisions and a duty to exercise reasonable supervision. Duty of loyalty. Loyalty can be defined as faithfulness to one's obligations and duties. In the corporate context, the duty of loyalty requires directors and officers to subordinate their personal interests to the welfare of the corporation. Conflicts of interest. Corporate directors often have many business affiliations, and a director can sit on a board of more than one corporation. However, directors and officers are precluded from entering into or supporting businesses that operate in direct competition with corporations whose boards they serve. A director or officer must make a full disclosure of an interest where he or she has a personal interest that the corporation may be attempting to contract with or engaging in a transaction. Liability of directors and officers. As a general rule, officers and directors are not liable if they have carried out their job or they've acted in good faith in doing these duties. Directors and officers are expected to exercise due care and to use business judgment in guiding corporate management. If they do not, they may be held liable to the corporation for any resulting damages. This is called the business judgment rule. Requirements for the business judgment rule to apply. To benefit from the business judgment rule, directors and officers must act in good faith, in which they consider to be in the best interest of the corporation, and with the care of the ordinary prudent person in a similar circumstance or position.